Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. And welcome back, everybody. We're going to talk about something today that can really make you feel better. It's structural integration. I know that's kind of weird to hear. What exactly is that? And when I say make you feel better, people dealing with physical challenges, just tension here, realignment. It's not chiropractic cure, and it's not massage. It goes a little bit deeper than that, like literally. And it's called Rolfing. And I found somebody who specializes in that. She's a certified Rolfer, and her business is called Revelation Rolfing, and she's back with us. Hannah Karis is here. How are you doing today?
Doing wonderful. How are you?
I'm good in that I'm attempting to explain what Rolfing is, but I better just, throw the ball to you and let you do that.
Well, you're doing very well explaining it. But yeah, Rolfing is a type of bodywork that addresses this type of connective tissue in your body known as fascia. It is covers everything head to toe. It is what provides support and allows our body to move. So it's kind of pressure I use. It's kind of like a massage, but I'm using a slow, deep pressure, and I'm focusing on connecting with the fascia and creating a change there, opposed to, like chiropractics adjusting the joints and massages focusing on relaxing the muscles.
Once I learned about the fascia and what it does and how it literally supports us, I am just thoroughly blown away why more don't talk about it. Why do you think it's not more prevalent in our society?
I think it's something that is still being studied to this day. If you look up Rolfing on, like, Wikipedia, you'll see a lot of pseudoscience or pseudotherapy, because sometimes people don't believe in the work because there's not enough research behind it yet. But, yeah, the research behind fascia, it's new. It's, they're still doing a lot to understand it. So I think that could be why. It's also, a holistic approach that, I live in Michigan, so we follow the West, things that are going on out there, like practices, but we're usually behind in following that. So I'm just excited to be here and sharing it with everybody and getting the word out more and getting more people to know about it.
Well, the interesting thing is it's nothing new. It's not like somebody had this major discovery a couple of years ago and said, "Oh my God, look what's underneath everybody's skin. There's this substance." Yeah. We've known about it, but I guess just like, I don't know if you're aware of lymphatic drainage, but yeah. There's also not a lot known about that. It's like, another, dark secret that even in this day and age in technology, more and more is not discussed regarding it.
Yeah, even that, these things may have been developed, like a long time ago, like Rolfing, like in the 60s is when it really became prominent. But it's still newer practices compared to, like, other practices that have been going on forever. So I believe I heard before that fascia recently, probably within, like, the past 5-10 years, has been deemed an organ of the body. So they're just really starting to make more and more discoveries with it, with their research.
Again, I'm very surprised with all of our technology and everything, but maybe just because it's not, what's the best way to say it? I guess it's holistic. I guess we're that's the reason why it's not more, not talked about more.
I'm learning more and more about all different kinds of holistic practices every day. Like, I have clients that come to me and ask me, "Have you heard of this before?" And I'm like, actually, no. Like, there's tons of stuff out there. So I'm really happy that Rolfing fell into my lap the way it did, because I probably would have known about it.
And I'm far from the expert, but I can probably rattle off some modalities that you may say, well, what? Could be energy related, that I may have heard of that you didn't. But you know what? At least we're talking about it. and we're moving in a positive direction in terms of realizing that there's more out there than just taking some pills and trying to feel better that way.
Oh, definitely. That was one of my driving factors into doing this, is because I know there's like an opioid epidemic and people are in pain. It just is. So I knew this was something that would be really great for my community in aiding in that.
So let's get into some detail about Rolfing and the people that it can support in terms of ages and challenges, physical challenges that they're going through.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of people, that may have heard of Rolfing believe that it's for like really strong people, athletes and stuff like that. But I'm here to tell you that it is for everyone. Babies on up to, the older population.
So let's get some examples. Let's say, you have a 35-year-old individual that is going through whatever it might be. Give us an example there, and let's take it up to, let's say somebody who is 55 having a challenge.
Yeah, so 35 versus 55, the person may have been doing these compensations a lot less at age 35 than they would at 55. So if you think of, say you have an injury, and it's kind of like a ripple effect. We have that initial snag in the tissue that's going to affect the tissue above and below it in other ways. So kind of like secondary compensations, and then, tertiary compensations, and so on. So we change our posture for that over time, or from what we do every day, like from our jobs. But so at age 35, you've only been doing it for so long, where versus at 55, you've been doing it longer. So the neurological pathway is going to be like a lot stronger when you're older and maybe a little bit more challenging to change. But as I said, I work in layers, so I can't just go in there, knowing that, hey, this person's been holding this, imbalance for so long, I'm going to have to go really, really hard to release that. But really, no, I work in the layers into what is available. And so sometimes it may take a little bit more time with somebody that is older, just because we are trying to transform a neurological pathway that has been there for so long, and we're trying to introduce a new one, a new way to function. So it could take a little bit of time and a little bit of more work in certain areas to help with that.
So let's describe what you're actually doing when you're doing a treatment, because I think that's the big question mark. I liken it to sort of like massage, but it's not really massage. Or is it? Is it a form of massage?
Well, it's something different than massage. So it is, it's... I'm sorry, can you rephrase that question for me again?
Yeah, when you're doing it, is it like a massage? Would you say it's very similar, but you're massaging something, but you're not massaging our muscles. You're basically massaging the fascia?
Yeah, so I'm working with the fascia. You're on a table, a massage table. I, will work at a slow, deep rate wherever the tissue will allow me to go. But then sometimes I call for little movements, or I will perform little micro movements to contract and relax the muscle that is lined by that fascia, because once we go back into relaxation, it allows you to kind of go a little bit deeper. So, that's kind of just how it's different. It's kind of more specific to, like I said, I'm focusing on certain areas I do focus on the whole body, but there are times where I have to get a little bit more micro to affect the whole, if that makes sense.
So that reminds me of, I think I shared with you, I had I don't know if it was fascia or it was lymphatic massage. Be honest with you, I'm trying to remember back to what I had. Maybe if I if I look at my text, I'll figure it out. It was last fall, had 2 sessions, felt I just needed something based on minor surgeries that I've had over the years, and I was just feeling some discomfort around my neck. It was a very lighter touch where things were being smoothed out, and I got to tell you, it opened my eyes to the fact that lighter can make just as much as a difference as a procedure, whether it's massage or whatever we're talking about, than heavier.
Yeah, I definitely agree. So, like, with lymphatic drainage, like lymphatic massage, it is a lot lighter. With my background in occupational therapy, I had a little bit of training in that. So I am aware of that. So that is a lighter touch where you're trying to move the lymph fluid within the lymphatic system. You don't want to push too hard, because if you do, you're kinking those lines. We want to just go soft enough to help move that fluid. Where Rolfing, it can be deep, it can be very superficial. And why it can be more superficial sometimes is just because that's as far as the tissue will allow us to go at that point. And then, we just continue to work at that, and eventually we can go deeper.
So I look back at my text, and it looked like I had lymphatic drainage massage. They did send me a couple of pictures and techniques I can do on my own, like a maxillary release that involves your cheeks, TMJ jaw release. There's some other ones that they sent as well, a ear pull release. So I guess that's lymphatic, that we're talking about there.
Yeah, it's really cool that people from my experience with lymphatic drainage, I worked with people that have lymphedema, that, it's like sickness and stuff like that. Or, just they had to have that taken care of medically, where people are actually going for lymphatic treatments now, just, kind of like what you did, for that experience. So it's really interesting to see that happening. Yeah.
So walk us through that. Patient comes in. I would assume that you really have to go into an evaluation to see what they're dealing with, what they've dealt with, and that's where it starts?
Yeah, so when clients come to see me, I first, do an intake form, find out, any injuries, surgeries, accidents in the past, and any medical diagnosis, anything like that. And then from there, I have them tell me how they feel, what their goals are from Rolfing. And then from there, I will do actual assessments, have them do some movements, take a look at, how their body's orienting to that central vertical line. And then from there, I might do a couple more assessments on the table. We'll have them walk and just kind of get a sense of how their body feels before a session, so they can have it something to compare to after the session.
What do you hear from people?
Oh, after experiencing the work or before the work?
Let's go before and after.
Okay, before the work, I have people that come to me and they are in significant pain right then and there. I have people that are in, just have had chronic pain that they've been dealing with their whole life and have tried multiple different things and just aren't having it addressed or not making any leeway with it. I have people that come in that have absolutely no pain and just want to, get their body more efficient. So those are kind of things I hear before, kind of goals people want, to be out of pain, to have better posture, to be more efficient, to gain a greater sense of awareness in their body. I've also had people want, emotional releases.
When you say emotional releases, I'm intrigued. Tell us about that.
Yes. So, emotional, psychological trauma can be stored in the body. And it can cause pain or, anything, pain, weakness, or just, a discomfort or a disconnect. And so with Rolfing, sometimes we can release those areas where that is being stored. I've witnessed people have emotional releases when I was in school. A beautiful time was one of my clients that came to me, and she said she just wanted to cry, but just can't. So that's why she was here to see me. And so we, by the time of the 7th session, she actually left that day and was able to sob, and she needed that. And so I'm not sure exactly what, occurred. Maybe we're opening and releasing that, so she was able to do that, but it's really almost magical when it does happen.
So this sounds very similar to energetic release, where people have dealt with, they've got energy that is stored up, built up from emotional traumas, could be recent or years ago, even in their childhood. And when that work is done, that energy work is done, it allows them to release. So I wasn't aware that that Rolfing could actually do that.
Yeah, I kind of see it as we're going in and we're creating space for energy to flow and move and not get caught up in a spot. And if it is caught up in a spot, that's what we're doing, is working on making it so it can flow and move.
But I'm still intrigued about the emotional part of this. How does that give somebody a release through the movement of the fascia?
It's a great question. I would say, I don't want to say it, brings them back to, re-experiencing it, but, multiple times when I ask people, do you have any injuries or anything like this? And they're like, oh, no, nothing I can think of. And then as I'm working on them, as I'm working in a certain area, all of a sudden they remember. And I feel like, that is either the emotional or physical trauma in that area, all of a sudden being tapped into again and bringing back that memory. So I feel like wherever the emotional energy gets stored in the body, once that's released, it can kind of maybe help them, process, okay, because sometimes people will, hide emotions deep down, don't want to remember it.
Yep. That
trauma. So, we just opened up where that was, and they kind of they could relive it, or just remember it more so that they can process it. So anybody that's kind of coming to Rolfing for that, it's great for them to also be working with a counselor or a psychologist to help them process through those emotions that are getting brought up and released.
So they're not actually going to go back and experience it over again, or are they?
I wouldn't say they would actually go back and experience it again. It's more of a memory. It may trigger it to come to their forefront.
So I've done hypnotherapy before. And
very cool.
Yeah, game changer. It took me back to, my childhood and things like that. I didn't have to experience it over. It was almost like watching TV. But I have to imagine within Rolfing, you're not experiencing it over, but maybe the sensations of it are coming back?
Yeah, I would say so. It's kind of cool that you say that, because with my son, he's 6 months old, I am seeing him experience sensations when the light turns on and your eyes are, it's kind of bright, or sucking on a wet washcloth, or my mom's cold hands. As I'm doing this with him, I'm starting to have memories of that, sensational memories. And it's really cool that the body and brain is able to do that.
Isn't it? Based on that, I'm going to share something that I recently learned. I heard that if you can, and we all want positivity in our lives, if you can go back to something that was very positive, let's say when you first met your partner, or your first car, or when you went on a great vacation, that feeling that you had was just so wonderful. If you can hold that feeling for 17 seconds, and I don't know why, but 17 within research is kind of the sweet spot, hold on to that. And if you continually do that, you'll start raising your energetic vibration and bring positivity to you. Gonna try it?
1,000% agree with that.
Yeah.
You're also going to be releasing the chemicals in your brains, like endorphins, to make you feel happy. They tell mothers that are breastfeeding, if you're having a difficulty with producing, look at pictures of your baby, think of your baby, and that's going to help your body, tell the brain to send out these chemicals, do all this stuff to do what you need to do. And so, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like, if you just sit there and really embody that feeling, that experience, think about it, you're going to start releasing those endorphins. It's a chemical thing, too.
That is an amazing analogy that you made, and I'm right there with you. So that kind of proves it. We're all in the same territory of what we're trying to do. 17 seconds. I don't know why that makes a difference. That's the number I heard, but if you hold it for 30 if you can. Even
exactly, you might release some more energy.
Totally.
Get that good energy and everything going.
For sure. If somebody wants to learn more about Rolfing, you're our go-to when it comes to that. And I know that it has to be done obviously in person, and you're located in Michigan. But yeah, if somebody's got any questions, could they reach out to you as well?
Totally. I will talk to your ear off about Rolfing any day. You can find my information at revelationrolfing.com. You can send me a message through the website, an email, or I believe my phone number is listed on there. And you can even give me a call or a text.
And what is really important that I want to share with everyone is this is not just something that you decided to get training for and figured, it's kind of cool. This supported you. This helped you. So you kind of walk the walk and live the talk. I mean, it's legit.
I knew I wanted to do it when I learned about it because just the research I did, it made so much sense. But me being someone that's lived in their hometown their entire life, to move to Colorado for 9 months was huge for me. But still just doing the research on it, I was like, I got to do this. But after experiencing the work, I was like, I am 1,000% making the right choice to go do this.
Well, there it is. You felt intuitively that I got to go to another state. I'm going to go there for almost a year. I'm going to learn how to do this, and it was a game changer for you. And for that, I appreciate you talking about it today. Thank you so much, Hannah, for being here once again.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes?
How could he do this to you? And for Sheila, she has split ends.
B, console her?
Oh, sweetie, this is going to happen a lot. 4, maybe 5 more times before you get married.
C, take charge?
Got to get this all straightened out. Give a little talking to, man to man, mano a mano. Hey, Steve! Is now a good time? No? Okay, no problem. Bye.
Or D, help her find a new boyfriend?
I know a great place to meet boys. The internet. Nice, single boys. Never mind. How about some ice cream?
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.